I'm a member. I learned.
I did an interview with Seibertron.
Might have, I don't know. Thank you.
I like it. I remember this website.
Yes. Because it's number one.
So sometimes I actually find news about the show from there before I know it myself.
That's awesome.
Which is kind of sad.
So John is also you guys met. Okay. Oh, great. So he does our podcast as well. So
I didn't know you were involved with Seibertron.
Yeah. So he gets around.
I think we've met actually in Sarah.
So everything was like, oh no.
Yes.
Peter first heard that, he's like, come here, give me a hug.
Oh yeah, it is.
So, I didn't have a list of questions I wanted to ask you guys, so I just kind of wanted to get your experience about, maybe some other things that you've been involved with, your thoughts about characters on the show. I want to thank you guys for coming out. Love you guys. It's not often that the fans like the human characters, but you guys have done it. The writers and you guys have done it. We like you, and it's awesome. So, Terry, I'm so big trying to pull you guys off.
Oh my God.
They look at the end of the script to make sure.
Every time. Do the kids make it? Oh my God.
Oh, look, I'm still alive. There we go.
Every episode, right?
Job security.
Yeah, so I just, if you just tell me a little bit about,
Well, for those who don't know, just introduce you all. Let's hear from Blake first because not everybody knows who it is. Okay, cool. You need to get a little bit closer so they can the microphone pick up.
How's it going? My name is Josh Keaton and I play Jack Darby on Transformers Prime.
You can also sign your. And hello, I'm Tania Gunadi and I play Miko in Transformers Prime.
These guys
And in life.
She almost forgot her own show. My first question is probably more for you because you're really new to this, right? As far as voice acting goes, you're new.
In the beginning it's new, but not
Right.
anymore.
Well, not anymore.
She's no pro now.
I'm talking about at the very beginning.
She's well seasoned.
How intimidated were you going in there with Peter Cullen and Frank Welker and all these?
Honestly, I wasn't intimidated. I was more excited.
Okay.
Because these are people that I grew up watching, listening to. And they're kind of like the upper echelon. They're like who anybody in voice acting would aspire to emulate and be like. So it was more of an excitement. It was like getting to meet Peter Cullen and Frank Welker.
I've got to know because you guys were movies that they missed with you at all. Because I know Frank.
No, I know.
You were infamous for this. Does he just calm down to his old age?
He's always been really supportive. Both him and Peter, probably really sweet guys. We've gone out to dinner. They're really like a family working on Transformers. It's been great. I'd say that that's probably one of the shows that has the closest cast interaction out of any show that I've worked on. It's been really cool. Everybody's real friendly. It's like family.
Right. And I happen to be friends with some guys at Activision, so I know a little bit about what's coming out. Was the recording for that different than, was it just like regular cast time and for the show?
I'm not really sure what you're talking about, but I can definitely say that
They released the preview at BotCon, so we know there's a game coming.
Okay.
Video game, right? Yeah, that's different.
Yeah, it's always different. I'd say that with video games, the process isn't necessarily as conducive to acting because it's usually just you and me by yourself.
Yeah, that's why I was curious.
And the story,
together.
you don't really get context. You just get a page with your dialogue, and so you really do have to rely on the voice director who has seen the entire story and knows how the game is going to be laid out. You have to ask a lot of questions because they're going to be the ones that are really going to be able to let you know the context and keep all the performances consistent. So
were the sessions a lot different? Like
they were very quick.
4 hours, and then
No, not even
not even
4
that really.
hours. Yeah, it's really short.
There's a lot more screaming and dying.
A lot more screaming.
I've been there. At least the unions make us do it again now. Thank God for unions. Absolutely. Fine, I'm gonna pass it over to you, bud.
No, I think, so with Transformers Prime, you guys are all in the studio together recording, right?
Yes.
So you're doing it
Every Wednesday in Burbank, it's the best.
Really?
That's like our Wednesdays.
That's very cool.
We all look forward to it, especially whenever Frank and Peter are together.
Yeah.
It's the best time. And Steve, Starscream, because they always
He's kind of like
they do pranks.
Steve is kind of the instigator.
typical guy.
Steve's the instigator. Like Steve. Well, no, actually, I can't. No, yeah. Well, Kevin Michael Richardson is the number one instigator. No, but you know what? I don't think you've worked with. No, you know you did work with him on the Vogel episode, John DiMaggio. John DiMaggio is usually the number one instigator. Like, yeah. Him and Kevin are in the same room.
That's trouble.
It's nuts.
There's the big wigs. They can do whatever they want.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, it's always a good fun, and honestly, I mean that really that gives such a great vibe into the studio, and it makes everybody else a bit freer with themselves, because it's like if everybody else is being silly, then I can kind of let
So
loose and do this.
are you the kind of guys that really stick with the script, or just kind of go with the flow if it gets all improv-y? Because I know
It does. No, the
I know
script
Kevin
is, the
can
script
like
is the
mess with
script.
you guys sometimes.
Yeah, yes and no. I mean, you do have to stick with the script. It's there's not really a whole lot of room for ad-libbing in a show like Prime. I'm sure that it's something else that has more comedy or whatever.
Or certain comedic episodes.
Or certain comedic episodes, they'll kind of not necessarily ask you to do something, but if you do something that's funny and it works, they might keep it. But for the most part, we tend to stick with the script. I mean, everything is written a certain way for a reason. I mean, the shows really do tie together, and once you start messing with that too much, then the original intent gets
everybody off
lost.
too. Yeah. So you're like the Sam of Transformers Prime. But
In a way, yes.
You make him serious.
Make as much money as Shia.
He's not like Chris Rock when he gets $1 million. You know. So you've actually made him a serious character, as opposed to having this comic relief run around with Transformers.
Well, I mean, the way I played him the way I would have dealt with the situation. If this happened to me in real life, and all of a sudden, like, I was aware that there were these massive sentient robots, and like my life was in danger, I'd be getting the hell out of it. Like, I'm not going to be hanging around.
You're gonna be cracking jokes.
I'm trying to stay alive. But then once I realized that, hey, you know what? Now that the bad versions of these know who you are, and they're going to be after you, and you really don't have a choice because the whole world is kind of. I mean, there's a lot of other things that play into it. Then you give it a chance, and then you start slowly easing into it. But I mean, you have to look at Jack, and Jack's got a single mom, and he's kind of the man of the house. He doesn't really have a lot of that example.
Yeah, do you think the show is the way the script in the show progressed, that he's being forced to be older as it goes
Absolutely,
along?
he's having to grow up really fast.
And same thing with you, because your character kind of started out from a character kind of based on a previous series. Sorry, was this comedic little girl that ran around with Bulkhead, and everybody, all the fans coming in were like, oh, not again. And then she turned it around from the cute little innocent, and now she's a serious character.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So,
And you haven't seen the.
non-disclosure.
I'm like poisoning myself. See, I'm still
All the
alive.
Transformers fangirls are screaming somewhere.
Yeah,
Like
I'm
Obi-Wan.
trying to say dark
Obi-Wan's like, 1,000 fangirls are screaming somewhere.
I love
So how was that progression for you to go from, the kind of like the comic relief now to more serious characters?
I mean, I like it. Sometimes I get surprised when I look at the script and I'm like, wow, I'm gonna be doing these things now, and I'm like, especially just like I think 2 months ago we just did season 3 and something crazy happened. I mean, after I read it, I literally threw the pages and I was like, yes, yes, yes. I was like, yes, but I can't tell you guys right now.
Yes, we understand. Well, at least I do.
Totally understand.
I'm sure he would try to get it out of you.
Oh yeah, we'll post it all over the internet. Don't
Seibertron
worry.
exclusive. Was this your first video game? Or have you worked on other video games before, as far as voices go?
Oh, video game with
Yes,
the
with the Transformers
Activision?
Prime game, yeah.
I've done some other video games
Okay,
before.
cool. So that was old hat for you.
The video games I've done before with the screaming and the yelling, but for animation, Transformers Prime is the first one.
Okay.
And then
So
from
you
then on,
transitioned from games to animated series.
yeah.
And also on camera. She's done a
Right.
significant amount of
I have a face for what I do. Voices. That's why I do voices. You know, stay away from the camera.
Speaking of that, though, these two guys look like your characters.
Yes, which is really cool. That's an old.
That threw me off when I saw
That's
you
like an
guys.
old Disney thing, where they animate it based on the actual actor.
And
which is
that
cool.
actually,
I like that better.
They did that. I mean, I don't know if you know, I was young Hercules in the Disney.
Yep, exactly.
And in that one, the original character sketches looked nothing like me. But I had a personal animator, like a trainer, but like that. And he would videotape every session that I would do.
Yeah.
And by the time the movie ended up coming out, Hercules moved exactly the way I moved. His facial expressions were my facial expressions, and it started to look like a lankier blonde version of me, which was really,
And
really
it makes the
bizarre.
character so much more believable.
Absolutely. And the thing that's weird about Jack is that these character designs for Jack were done before I even auditioned for the thing. But, I mean, I'm wearing Adidas Superstars right now. I mean, Adidas and Nike Dunks have been the shoes I've been obsessed with since high school, and I still wear them. And I mean, the short sleeve with the long sleeve
Still waiting to
shirt,
get my Converse.
I stopped doing that like 4 years ago, but I mean, Jack does that. And I mean, my hair's short right now, but for a while I used to part it on the side. Like, it really is, it's kind of uncanny.
I can understand. He did the Spider-Man in the games, and he's got the Andrew Garfield hair going out. That's great. That's awesome.
Actually, I'm older, so I think that Andrew Garfield has the Josh Keaton.
Hey, yeah, there you go.
But
There
you
you
look
go.
the same.
See, if you carved a TM in there, you could have charged him for it.
Ah, see?
John, do you want to do a quick little thing?
Yeah, let's go with them. Yes,
We
that's
just
fine.
want to do a quick little thing with this, and then we're going to do a photo op if that's all right with you guys. And then, just okay.
They,
Are we gonna get insulted
Delta
by-
Air
by-
destroyed this thing. Stupid airlines. I'm like Darth Vader. No.
They're working for the Decepticons. Oh wait, no, they're working for the Autobots.
Yeah.
All right, Delta Air.
Apparently so.
There you go.
It was the giant Autobot symbol on the back of the plane, like in the movie, and then it never transforms into anything.
You are so
This is
good.
like, what is it? Comic the Insult Dog.
He's Ravage the
Transformer
Insult
style.
I based it off the Triumph from Conan. Very cool. Little puppy dog. It just insults and hits on girls, and for some reason, convention goers love this thing.
For some reason,
And
it's
that
because
gives
it's
you-
an
you can get away
Autobot.
with
It's because
murder.
it's a robot that's on your hand.
I don't need to
And I
put
get
it
away
in
with,
any
I get away with
shots.
murder with this thing too. I never said things, but I said with this
Yeah.
Blame
character.
it on the dog.
All right, try to keep me out of it.
All right, babe.
Yes, hello. This is Ravage the Insult Comic Bot here, and I'm here with Josh Keaton, and I'm very jealous of how handsome you are.
Thank you.
And I'm over here with Tanya. How are you doing? Oh yes. I need to know if your legal age though. So,
Maybe not for you.
well, I'm about a million, so you're probably really young for me.
Yes, I think a lot of people here are too young for you.
Oh, you're killing me. I'm never going to get any numbers this way. So I'm here to ask the hard questions that nobody else is going to ask. Why is it that Laserbeak's in the show and I'm not? Come on, be honest.
Probably because you were too drunk and didn't show up at the audition.
Well, that's probably true.
Sorry, Rabbit.
But it's 12 o'clock somewhere, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Oh, yes.
That's true.
So I'm curious why Soundwave wears Laserbeak like a bra. Is that a new thing, or or is Soundwave a girl? Exclusive.
I would think that that would
Soundwave's
turn
a
you
woman.
on. I would think that would turn you on. Like just being in that.
That's true.
being that
That means a lot of things back in the old days I need to question myself about, if you know what I mean.
Hey, there you
So
go.
so how much scratch you guys making for this show? Because I could use some money right now.
Why do you need to fix your
See, why is it
teeth?
such a big secret that these guys are rich and I'm not even getting residuals from Shop
It's
Factory?
because we're really poor, but we like to try to look like we're rich.
Oh yes, that's why you're wearing the fancy
And
clothes.
damn, I just gave away the secret.
There you go. Oh
I
yes.
see, I have holes in my pants.
You said you had hose where? Oh, I'm sorry. I
In my-
misunderstood. Misunderstanding. Sorry about that. Rated PG-13 coming soon. So anyways, this is Ravage for Seibertron.com. Stay tuned for Transformers Prime Season 3. Oh, get out of the way. Let me have it. Yes, over here. Over, come on. Yes! Score one for Ravage. Oh, yes.